Okay, now I think enough has joined, so I'm going to start the session now. So today we are going to talk about generative AI. As you must know, nowadays generative AI is everywhere. What is generative AI? So it is the capability of the machine to replicate the human mind into generating some content. That can be text, that can be image, that can be audio and video. So today our main focus will be building your own chat GPT and your own DAL-E. Yes, you have heard correct, your own chat GPT. Now after this session, if you follow properly, you will be able to make your own chat GPT using open source model, or also you can build your own models. You can fine tune models, and you can generate images based on the responses you based on the queries or prompts you give to the system. So first let me start with the requirements. Obviously we will need Python for it. You can install Python in any way, like you can do it from the Python website or also from Anaconda. So no need to worry if you don't have them installed. I will uh, put a link to a guide that I will write throughout the process so that you can access the materials for this particular session. So at first, you need to make sure that you are installing the correct thing on your system. Um, Most of us use laptops with or without GPU. So by GPU I mean NVIDIA GPU. If you have the NVIDIA GPU, you need to run this particular command after installing Python. See, run the command prompt as admin, and there you will write this command if you have a GPU. Now if you are using integrated GPU or Intel, I mean Intel GPUs or AMD GPUs, then you need to write this command. So what is the difference? This will compile PyTorch with CUDA. PyTorch is a very important requirement for generative AI and other machine learning related things. So it is the backend framework for the AI. And what this does is it installs with CUDA. CUDA is the NVIDIA framework for acceleration on NVIDIA GPUs. So this means if you are doing it on a GPU, it will be very fast compared to a CPU. Don't worry, on CPU it will also work, but it will be a bit slower. But it will always work. So for this process, you will need at least 4 GB of RAM. Nowadays, everybody has that much amount on their computers. And if not, you can try it on Google Colab or any other platforms like Kaggle. So you need to run this command. I've already done it, so I'm not going to do it. The first one, this one actually downloads 2.7 GB of a WHL file, which is a compiled Python library, and this one does 200 MB. So this will take obviously a bit of time. Then the next requirement is Llama. I hope you have heard about Llama. It is an open source model for chat generation like ChatGPT. So they have provided a backend for generation through GPT, but it is very hard to install. So I have already compiled it, and I have already set a link to it. So you can always access it from my GitHub. I'm showing you. So you will it's very easy, github.com/Neelkalpa. So you need to write here, and you will from the repositories you will get it. So this one. So the latest one you can see, this one, you can click on this, then download the raw file from here. So this will download the WHL file. After we have downloaded the file, you can right click on it, then copy the file name, or the best thing you can do is copy as path, and then here you will write pip install, and then this file path. So this is the easy way out. If you want to dive deeper into it, you can always go through the manual process. But let me tell you, this only works for NVIDIA GPU, the manual process. I mean, if you don't have a GPU, it will always compile normally. There won't be any problem. If you want to use GPU with the AI, so you can do it. So this is the link for Visual Studio. This is very important for compiling. So here you can download it if you need it. Let me tell you, this is optional, so you don't need to stress on it. If you can't, you can always use the pre-compiled WHL. I will always update whenever there is a new major version, so no need to worry. You can always get it from my GitHub. So from here you have to download Visual Studio, and while installing you need to check the desktop development with C++ option. Let me show you how it looks like. Here you can here you will have the option to install it. As I have already done it, it is already installed. From here there will be an option. Yes, as you can see, this is already checked. You need to check this and click install while downloading. So this will install the tools required for C++ compilation. Why C++? You might know that Python is a bit slower when doing repetitive tasks, but C++ can handle them very efficiently. So we are using C++ backend through Python, so that we can get the power of Python as well as C++, as well as the speed of C++ while using the AI. So this is it, and then you need to install CUDA toolkit. This is the link. I've already given it. You can copy it and run. Here you will choose your platform. You can also always use Linux or Windows subsystem, but I am showing you for Windows, and you can choose your Windows 10 or 11 version, or even if you have server, you can use the server version. So from there, this will download another a couple of GBs of toolkit. Yes, I know you have to download a lot. You download lots of files because AI is not very small. Let me tell you that OpenAI's GPT-3 is rumored to be 800 gigabytes in size.
Neelkalpa, sorry to interrupt, but Somnath sir is saying that you should go maximize the window. It is not clearly visible for some. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Now, yes, thank you for the suggestion. From here, you will install the CUDA toolkit, and after you have installed, you need to run the CMD and uh, copy this command and paste. What this will do is, this thing will force it to compile with compile the llama with GPU support on, and also this command, these two commands are this will force, and then you have to reinstall or just install Python. We are using force reinstall command, upgrade and no cache dir, so that it does not use any old compiled llama version, which will install it without the GPU. So to prevent these troubles, we are removing this. And at last, you need to run this command on whatever system you have. This will install. This will be required later for other purposes. I will tell you on the way. So after we have finished installing it, let's first start with the GPT. Make a folder and there create a file named gpt.py. You can name it whatever you want. So the libraries we need to import are copy. This will we will use it to copy the response while it is being dynamically generated. I mean that we are generating the response, uh, like you can, as you can see in ChatGPT, it does not wait for the entire response to be generated. It generates word by word, which we call token by token. So from llama cpp, import llama. This will only work after you install it. You can install it as the way I've shown it. Then you can initialize a variable named LLM, where you will give the model path. So model path is the path to the gguf file. I recommend you to download it and copy it into the same folder where the py file is, so that you don't have a dependency, so that you don't have a path error. So where you will get the gguf file. After this session finishes, I will give you a drive link from where you can download the gguf file and install it. I mean copy it. Also, I will show you on how to use different models, so don't worry about that. Now I'm setting verbose equals to false, and you can also set it to true. It depends. By verbose, I mean it will show you about the different characteristics and different logs about the while the model is being loaded. We don't want to see any unnecessary details about the model, so we are setting it to false for the session. You can always set it to true. It will always be the same. Now the next thing is we are setting GPU layers. In GPU layers equals to 8. Now this is a complex thing. If you don't know about it, you can leave it as it is. If you don't have a GPU, you can also leave it as is. You don't need to type this option in that case. I am using 8 layer GPUs, as I have a 6 GB GPU. For a 4 GB GPU, 8 layer will still work. But if you are having a 2 GB GPU, then you need to reduce
Uh,
it to 4 or 1.
Sorry to interrupt, Neelkalpa. Can you please zoom in your code editor? Because some people are saying
No, no,
that,
it's not visible at all.
yeah, yeah. Can you please zoom in a bit more?
He has not shared the screen, I think.
What?
Just shrink the file directory side. Shrink a bit
No, no,
and
no.
yeah,
Now is it okay?
yeah. Mm,
No, this is not visible. I asked the other participants. Not
Okay, let
about
me
screen is
share it
not
again.
shared. Means if you share do the screen sharing, it should not come something like that. Hmm? Please check.
Okay, checking it.
Neelkalpa, I will suggest you that you join the Meet from another account from your phone and see the comments because many people are asking questions and
No,
may
I've
ask.
already joined different device. I know that. I can see it, but I think it's already shared. I'm closing it.
Listen, Nilkalpo, do one thing. Reshare the screen. Okay, reshare the screen so it will be
Okay.
automatically pinned to everyone's screen. And then do one thing. Just zoom it a little bit more so that everyone it is visible.
Now
Just
it's
zoom it a
fine.
little
Now
bit
it's fine.
more.
Yes, now it's
It's
fine.
fine.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, I have
okay, sir.
reshared
Thank
the
you.
screen.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I'm continuing. So
Uh-huh.
you can set this GPU layers to 8 if you have a 4 GB or more or larger GPU. If you have a 2 GB or 1 GB GPU, then I would recommend you to set it to 1 to prevent a problem. If you have a 8 GB or larger GPU, you can set it to 32. How you will know the GPU size? From here, you will go to the GPU one. I always remember GPU one. You will see the NVIDIA and you will see the dedicated GPU memory size from Task Manager. So if you don't have a GPU, just ignore this. This command is not needed. This portion is not needed. You can ignore it safely. Now I'm making a function. So you can take the prompt here, then declare a variable. Now this will be the question answer format. The best one that works for most models is question prompt and then answer. You can fine tune it to various purposes, like if you want it to answer true false, you can change this to question and answer, and you can write answer in true or false. This will work variably depending on how good the model is. If it is able to, I mean, if it is made for answering true false, it will do it. So first, we don't go into such complex things, we are going into the easier part out here. So max tokens. Now, what is this? Tokens are actually, we are generating word by word. We can say like one of them is a token. So it will generate about 100 words. Not always that one word is a token. It can be like half of a word or more than one word, or it can be a punctuation mark. So it is actually, you can think it about think it like a part. You can by part you can say 100 tokens. For now we are going with 100. For larger responses we can make it as large as we want. Then we have the stop token. For this model, the stop token is question. Some of them have a new line character as a stop token. You can always give multiple stop tokens as a list. Now let me tell you what is a stop token. So while generating the response, the model needs to know when to stop. It should not continue generating forever. Like if it has answered the question already, it should not stop there. I mean, it should stop there after it has answered the question. It should not go on generating continuously. Next, we set stream to true so that we get the output. Now we loop over the output as it is dynamically generated. I'm copying it so that we can generate. We can use it before the whole thing is generated. Now this is a three-dimensional array. You can always see what it is inside. So I'm not diving deep into it, as this will take too much of time. We have limited time. So now we are going by, this is actually the token generated, which we are taking it out. Now we will print it. Now we don't want to print every token in a different line, so we are giving the end equal to this. Actually this keeps the next line character. Now we have finished this part. Now we call the GPT response. Okay, this suggested me a question. What is the capital of France? Let's ask it. Let me run it. Let's see if it runs or not. As you can see, this loaded the model. You will see this when the model is loaded. You will see the GPU name or the CPU name. You can see this is generating. The capital of France is Paris. You can ask any other question. Can anyone suggest me one question in the comment box? Okay, I've got the first question. How to make tea? Now you will see one thing. It might stop in the middle of generating. So how do you deal with such situation if it happens? You have to increase the token count. I recommend to something about 2000 or 3000. This will be perfect for most use cases. You can see it is a small response. If we increase it to 1000, or even we can use 1 lakh or something like that. So you can always try with your different questions. The model will try to answer that. The model, like let me tell you, it is only 2.63 GB compared to OpenAI's 800 GB model. So this will obviously be faster, and it will work on most CPUs or GPUs, and it can generate responses for most things. I will now. We are short of time. Actually, we need to. We don't want the session to go throughout all night, so we are going to the next part. Thank you for your questions. You can always try it out yourself. It will be a great thing to learn and practice. So the next thing which we do is image generation. Now for the image generation, um, you only need these two, and along with torch. These two must be done for the image generation. So there are many models. I will show you with one of the most popular models, image.py. I am naming it. So as you must be thinking, what is this cache folder? I will tell you very soon. Since we are generating from one prompt to generating an image from a prompt, we will use the auto pipeline for text to image. From diffusers, you can import it. You can always install diffusers through pip or using Anaconda. No need to worry, you will always get this code after this session. I will give a drive link from where you can download. You can also ask me questions after we have finished discussing this. So without further ado, let's continue. Now we were declaring the pipeline. Now why we are using from pre-trained, so that we can use a pre-trained model that can work for our use case. So also this will provide a facility for the model to be downloaded locally on your system, just like the GPTV is already downloaded. This will allow you to generate image without the internet and with no restrictions whatsoever. Now I'm using Stability AI's SDXL Turbo. I'm copying the name. This must be exactly it, or else it might not work. There are other models too which you can find out. Next is you need to set it to float 32. Why not float 16? So if you set float 16 precision, there is a bug which goes on with Windows systems. This will and NVIDIA GPUs. This will generate a blank and black image. So to fix this bug, we are using float 32 precision model. I mean float 32 precision of torch. Variant is FP16. I mean model variant is float precision 16, but we are using torch 32 float precision. Device equals to CUDA. No, not here. I will write it later. Let me set the cache there. I have set it to go like this. Cached. Now This ensures that the cache, I mean the model, is downloaded directly onto this cache directory. You don't need to create it from before, it will automatically create it, but I have already downloaded the cache so that it saves our time. The model is about 5 to 10 GBs depending on your system requirements. It is sometimes variable. So this will download into the cache directory. As you can see, the model is already downloaded. If you I mean you don't need to manually download it, it will automatically download when you run the code. Next we will set the pipe. You can directly set it to CUDA. But if you don't have a GPU, if no GPU, then set it to CPU. You will use CPU. If you are using a MacBook, then you need to use MPS, which is the Metal Platform Acceleration Framework for Apple. I mean the M1 and later models. And for Linux and AMD GPUs, there is another option for ROCm. For Windows, we have the CUDA or CPU. Please note that you must set it to CPU if you don't have a GPU. NVIDIA GPU. If you don't have an NVIDIA GPU, you must set it to CPU or the program will crash. Now we are setting the prompt. You can always take as an input. Okay, it gave me a prompt. It suggested me a prompt. I am taking it currently. Now image equals to pipe, prompt equals prompt. Now this number of inference steps. As you might know how the image is generated. If you don't, let me tell you. The image is generated by taking a blank transparent image, and it the model adds random noise on it until the required image is generated. So we are using one inference steps, as this model is fine tuned to work in one inference steps. If you give more, the response might not be good enough. Some models require 100 or 50 or two inference steps depending on the model, but this current model we are using needs only one. Next we need to set the guidance scale. Now this model does not require any guidance scale. This is already a very good model. Some models require a guidance scale, which is the creativity. So if you increase or decrease, this will change the amount of creativity and correctness. Now we are taking in the images, and we are taking the first one which is generated like this, and then we need to save image dot save. Don't forget to save as output dot png. So now let me run it. If you are running it for the first time, it will automatically make the cache folder and it will download all the requirements. So this is loading the pipeline. This generally takes about 30 seconds to a minute. Since I'm on screen share, it is already using a lot of resources, so it will be a little slower than normal, but it will generally work within a couple of seconds in most use cases. Now if you see this warning, torch was not compiled with flash attention, you can ignore it safely. This does not cause any problems with this model or most things here. You don't need to recompile torch or install it from a different source. This problem can be ignored anyway. Now while this is generating, let me check the comment section. If you have any questions, you can ask in the comment section. I will always reply after the end of this session, or if I get time now, I will reply. You can always ask me the questions if you have any. Okay, sure. I will try this prompt. First, let it. Oh, it has already finished generating. Now you can see beautiful sunset over a city. Let me show you. Oh my goodness. Wait, something is wrong. I will fix it. Now let me try it again with the new prompt which Moyuk Haldar asked. Okay, you can see it now generated the image properly. Last time I guess it was some bug which caused this issue. You can try any prompt of your choice. Now, is sound generating from your CPU? Yeah, actually the fan is running very fast of my laptop. It depends actually. Actually, it is using the full CPU or the GPU. So from there the sound is coming. So let me tell you now that we have seen how it works. Let me tell you what models other you can use. You can always get models from this website, huggingface.co. Now for the GPT models, you can try Llama. Now Llama requires access to Facebook's repository. I don't think you need to work like that. So you can always search the GGUF. So GGUF format, there are many models. This is 7B model. This means just 7 billion parameters. You can see the files and versions. See, this is the largest one. It has float precision 8. I mean, it is quantized to 8 bit. So what is quantized? This is a method by which we can compress the model size without causing much damage to its content. So this one will provide good responses, very good responses rather, and this one has 7.16 GB size. But you can see if we go back all the way, and there is Q2 underscore K. This is the 2-bit quantization. This has 2.83 GB. Yes, this will also provide responses, but this the quality of the response might not be as good as this one. If you are having a smaller computer, I mean low-end computer, then I guess Tiny Llama will be the best for you. You can always search Tiny Llama GGUF. Here you can get from many sources. It doesn't matter. It is very small model. One of them will actually work 1 GB. So this will work very easily for most systems. You can always change and search for any model which you want. And remember, you need to use the GGUF. So if you don't get the GUF, there is always a script to convert the normal model, which is called the HF model, into the GGUF. I can give you the script if you text me, or if you like this session, obviously I can take some session in the future where I will show you more advanced works, how to fine tune a model or how to convert a model from one float precision to another. So for now, this is with the GPT. Now I'm showing you the image generation. There are many models like SDXL Turbo we used. We can use the SD Turbo, which is a smaller one and it is a bit faster. Also, there is one named SD Tiny. Yes, you can use these models. How you can change? Let me show you. Just you need to say we are using. Where did it go? Tiny SD. You just need to copy this one and replace it with this one. This is for the image one, and for the GPT one, you need to download the GGUF model, copy its path or copy into the same model now, and you can change the file name, and it will use this one. So that's all about today's session. So if you have any questions, you can ask me. I will try to answer it. Okay, so you are talking about benefits of using stable diffusion over Midjourney and DALI. Sorry, I mean DALI is not open source. This is made by ChatGPT, and you need to. There are token systems like you can generate 50 images without API key, and there are limitations like you cannot use it offline. This model can work offline. uh, Midjourney, these are all online models. You need to provide your data to the companies. Like if you are using Midjourney or DALI, you need to give the prompt. They can see what you are generating. But this response you are generating, you can turn off the internet and run it. So nobody will get any uh, data from you. This is safer as this is an open source model. Next one is basic requirements for running these models. Okay, let me tell you. So basic requirements: CPU. You can it can be any 64-bit or 64 CPU. How we will know 64-bit CPU? Let me show you. On Windows or Windows 10 or 11, you can always go to this PC, or you can open this one. Let me show you this PC. Go to File Manager and click on the this PC properties. So this window will come up. You can see 64-bit operating system, 64 base processor. So this is for the CPU, and for ARM64, I mean if you are using a MacBook, MacBooks have ARM64 CPUs, the M1 MacBook, both of them will work. RAM. Now RAM 4 GB will do, but make sure you have paging files enabled. How you need to enable paging files? Again, go to that window and search and open this advanced system settings. Then go to this performance tab and click on the settings, advanced, and here paging files, you can see this is set to 0 MB, but you need to use automatically paging file size for all drives. Why? I have a lot of RAM, so I am not having any RAM issues, but if you are having 8 GB RAM or 4 GB RAM, then you must enable it. This is generally enabled by default, but if you have disabled or you are using a compressed version of Windows, then this is disabled. You can always enable it. You need to enable this only if it crashes. If it does not crash, then you are good to go. Next is I would recommend a SSD, but hard disk will always do. SSD will be faster. So hard disk, you need to have 10 GB of free space. Now let me tell you the exact amount for the image generation model. This is taking 6.46 GBs, and for the um, GPT 2.63 GB. So you can say 10 GB combined space will do, free space. Next GPU, you can go with integrated GPU. Anything will do. Integrated GPU, AMD GPU, NVIDIA GPU, Apple M1 GPU, nothing will be a problem. Which one is best for the low-end systems? I would say for the low-end systems you can use the SD Turbo. If I'm not mistaken, this is the idea of SD Turbo. You can use this for low-end systems. And for GPT, this one will work very well for low-end systems as it is only 2 GB. And if you are not satisfied, you can use the Llama, tiny Llama version. You can get it from Hugging Face always. So I am posting the link of the drive from where you can download all these materials. Please hold on. Check, I have posted the link for the materials. From here you can download the materials to get started. I have the here you have the guide and the model, GPT model. I have not included the image model as it downloads automatically and you don't need to do anything for it. It will download automatically when you run the py file. From here, from the guide, you can see what commands to run. You can always ignore this part. If you are not comfortable with compiling with C++, you can always use this way. I have already compiled the WHL file for you. This will be easier and save a lot of time. Okay, I've got a lot of share requests. I'm making it so that everyone can use it. I'm allowing access to everyone. Please wait.
So we have shared a WhatsApp group here. So you all guys join the WhatsApp group. So you will get a hold of this recorded session. and also the documentation for your future purposes and for trying out these models and all those things. So uh, and Neelkalpa, please open the access for everyone to
Yes,
go and
I've
see.
already done it. Now, can you please check and tell if this is opening the link? Now, if you have any questions, you can answer it. We have already we have 5 more minutes. We can discuss any questions related to this, and you can also ask me any other queries if you have.
You guys can open your mics and ask him questions. We will try to answer it. Okay? And guys, everyone who doesn't have a question, you can always go in this link that I'm sharing right now and pinning here. Please go and give your valuable feedbacks so that we can improve on it. And we will be also trying to take good criticism also. So thank you.
Another question: how good is GenAI as a career? It's tough to expertise and study with web apps. Okay, this one is a very good question. So, I don't think GenAI is very difficult. You just need to understand how the things work. So if you understand anything, it won't be any difficult. And if you are starting with web app, I don't think it will be difficult at all. Yeah, like most of the web apps nowadays currently have some chatbots linked with them. Most of them use some API key, so you can always make an API through what you learned today. Like I can give you an example. So you have used this GPT. Now you can always create a Flask server that will take the response as which will take the prompt as JSON format and return the response for the web app. So you can always run the server and get your own AI companion like that. You can make your own chat GPT like that. This is a very good idea. So web app is not actually a bad career for um, I mean for collaborating with AI. You can always switch career. You can even collaborate in the AI part of web app creation. Any more questions, anyone? Can we host it over digital oceans droplet of about 2 GB RAM and 70 GB SSD? Yeah, sure, you can do it over 2 GB RAMs, but I would prefer using the Tiny Llama model for that. This is because this model is 2 point something GBs in size, 2.63 GBs. So I don't think if you are using a Linux server, it would have that much of swap space. If it has say 70 GB SSD, you can format it into some part of Linux and some part of swap. If you don't know, swap is the virtual memory or the paging files for Linux. You can use it and use it as an extra RAM. In that case, this model will work. If not, if you cannot do it, if it is prevented, then you can use the Tiny Llama model for hosting this AI solution. Parthiv Ghosh has raised a hand. Parthiv, you can open your mic or you can write in the messages if you have any queries. Okay, it's already 9 p.m. I hope you have enjoyed the session. I would love for your uh, what is the context size? By context size, what do you mean? Like, can you explain your question? Explain the last question. It is not really feasible. Like you cannot run it on a 16 GB RAM. But if you have a data center like about 128 GBs of RAM, this will work very well. You can always train a very small model which can work for very small use cases. But for large use cases, it will be hard. I would prefer training something like uh, on the college laboratories if you are permitted to. There you can train. I think that will work. And for what is the size limit for the prompt? You can. I think it is 600 characters, but you can always increase the prompt by increasing the max token, and every different model has a different prompt size maximum for it. You can always test it out yourself and you will find out the model size. Yes, it is only limited by resources. There is no other limitation for this. Thank you. Now that the time is
Okay, so thank you, Neelkalpa, for this wonderful session, and I hope everyone has learned something or the other from Neelkalpa's session. And please, everyone, go to our WhatsApp group. We will be sharing all the documentation and all the things that he has done here. So you guys can go there, and also the recorded session too. So you guys can always go there and see what he has done and try to practice that with your computers. So guys, everyone, also please go to this form link that I have shared here, and give your suggestions and also the feedback on this session. And thank you for everyone for joining, and have a great evening. Thank you, Neil Korpo. So I think we will be wrapping up our sessions now. I'm sharing again the form link to everyone. Please, everyone, go and give your suggestions and feedbacks there. Thank you. And also join our WhatsApp group. We will be sharing everything in our WhatsApp group, the recorded session and the documentations. Thank you.
Thank you, Ninkalpo.
thank you, sir, and thank you
A
to
good,
everyone who has
good,
joined.
good session. It was a very good session. Just one concluding message I should convey. A
Yes,
good session it was, but try to add the conceptions also in one particular session. Have one session to clear the doubts. Also means doubts like the conceptions like LLM is okay, but how the generative model actually works. So that part you should also include, try to include in your consequent lectures or the series of lectures. Okay, also the part of pre-training is a conception that need to be get cleared. Also the part like what is Mark's language modeling. Okay, so Mark's image modeling. Okay, contrastive learning. So these are the ways how it actually was, the pre-training or pre-tasks. Okay, so those things should also be get clarified. Also try to put, if this is a session on generative AI, try to give a list of current research works that is going on this particular topic of generative AI. Okay, so they will also be interested. Okay, list out some of the names of the good conferences, good journals, so that they can also refer to those resources. So I think that will be a, good idea to carry out your work.
Thank you, sir,
yes,
for your
yes.
suggestions. And actually, sir, with him only, we will be So in that workshop, the time will be more and people will be joining in and they will be interacting more in that session. So it will be a hands-on session.
Yes, at least one session, hands-on session is very good, but also I have one particular session so that the conceptions is also
Okay,
clear.
sir.
Okay, because when the students are going for the higher studies, the conception we can directly use
Yeah, sir.
LLM,
Exactly.
but the underlying conceptions are not clear to
Okay, sir. Okay,
everyone.
sir.
Okay, so they will be not able to create or generate their own models, build their own models. They don't know what are the underlying conceptions, what are the parameters that you need to think about, what are the tasks, what are the downstream tasks, what are the pre-training data set, what are the downstream data sets are there, what are the domain specific things, how to include the knowledge, how they're actually working. So entire thing is actually abstract in this type of using only LLM, so it will not going to give them that flavor of idea.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so I think this is a good session. Try to add those points if you want in the subsequent lectures.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Actually, we also have two sessions on this only, like how to build a better LLM models and also the AI models for beginners to intermediate. So, sir, you
Okay.
can join in and sir, it will be very helpful for us also if you give the feedback in this feedback form also, sir.
Okay. Okay.
We will
Okay.
be
Sure.
try to incorporate it
So
in the next sessions.
you have already the session, or you will be having?
Actually, we will be having in a
Okay.
few days only.
Okay.
Two speakers are we have there. One
Okay.
is Nasir and another is Shomojit. So they will be
Okay.
teaching on that part. So this
Nasir
was
and
about this session,
they
sir.
are from which year?
IT, sir. IT.
IT, your second year,
Third year,
third year.
sir.
Okay, IT third year. Okay, fine. No issues. Yes. So good
Okay,
session,
sir.
Neelkalpa, but it was a good session with a good clarity of the requirements. That was very specific to the point. Huh? Thank you. Hmm.
Okay. Thank you
Thank you, sir.
everyone for joining in. So we'll be concluding here. Have a great evening. You guys can leave now. নীলকল্প যাস না একবার একটুখানি ওয়েট করে যাস ঠিক আছে আর বাকি রিতম টিতম একটু ওয়েট করে যাস কিছু কথা বলার আছে আচ্ছা সবাই লিভ করে গেছে এবারে একটা কথা শোন নীলকল্প আছিস আর আদিত্য রিতম তোরা আছিস
হ্যাঁ দাদা বলো বলো